Have you ever wondered why Johnnie Walker costs twice as much as other whiskeys? 21.6 million people bought a bottle last year, yet few realize how wildly complex their production actually is. But here's what blows my mind. While Jack Daniel's perfects one recipe in one factory, Johnnie Walker orchestrates 40 different whiskeys in a process so intricate, it makes rocket science look simple. We're taking you inside their factory today. Grab a glass. This changes everything. Most whiskey starts with grain, but what happens next will shock you. Johnnie Walker's process begins with something unprecedented: coordinating raw materials from four corners of Scotland. At their main production facility in Leven, Fife, massive silos store different grain types: malted barley from Highland farms, wheat from lowland fields, and corn imported specifically for their grain whiskey base. But here's what most people will never see. Unlike Jack Daniel's single mash bill, Johnnie Walker processes multiple recipes simultaneously. Picture this. While one production line handles traditional Scottish barley mash, another processes grain whiskey that will become the foundation for blending. Each mash tun holds 25,000 liters of grain and water mixture. That's enough to fill a swimming pool. Hold on, because this gets even crazier. The mashing process breaks down starches into fermentable sugars. But here's the secret that shocked even industry experts. Different grain recipes require different temperatures and timing. Highland barley needs 148 degrees Fahrenheit for optimal enzyme activity, while their grain whiskey mash runs at 160 degrees Fahrenheit for maximum sugar extraction. You think that's impressive? Wait until you see what happens in the next 30 seconds. But turning grain into alcohol is just the beginning. What I'm about to reveal about their fermentation halls will completely blow your mind. If you're enjoying these behind-the-scenes secrets that most people will never discover, hit that subscribe button, because what comes next will blow your mind. The fermentation facility houses 24 massive washbacks, each holding 50,000 liters of fermenting liquid. That's 1.2 million liters fermenting simultaneously, enough to fill 480,000 bottles at any given moment. But here's what only 1% of whiskey drinkers understand. The yeast strains are carefully selected for each whiskey type. Some produce fruity esters for Speyside character. Others create the clean profile needed for grain whiskey. This next part will make you question everything you thought you knew about whiskey production. Fermentation temperature controls the final flavor, and they maintain different temperatures across the facility. 86 degrees Fahrenheit for delicate flavors, but 95 degrees Fahrenheit for robust character. Computer sensors monitor each washback, but here's the million-dollar secret. Master distillers still taste samples every 12 hours, because machines can't detect subtle flavor development that human palates can. You're about to witness something incredible. The bubbling sounds are like nothing you've ever heard. Imagine 24 giant bathtubs all fizzing simultaneously as yeast converts sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide. After 48 hours, this wash contains 8% alcohol and tastes like strong beer. But that's nothing compared to what's coming next. Even perfect fermentation means nothing without the distillation process that transforms this beer-like liquid into pure whiskey spirit. What happens in the next step will completely change your perspective on whiskey forever. The distillation halls contain copper pot stills and continuous column stills working around the clock. The pot stills, imported from traditional Scottish distilleries, handle single malt production. Each still holds 30,000 liters and requires 8 hours for complete distillation. The copper removes sulfur compounds, creating that smooth Johnnie Walker character. But here's where your mind gets blown. Johnnie Walker differs from single malt distilleries with their continuous column stills that produce grain whiskey at industrial scale. These towering steel columns, 60 feet tall, process 100,000 liters daily. Steam rises through perforated plates while wash flows down, separating alcohol from water through precise temperature control. Hold on to your seat, because this gets insane. The first distillation produces low wines at 25% alcohol. The second distillation creates new make spirit at 70% alcohol. Clear, potent, and ready for the most crucial step that industry insiders don't want you to know about. Coming up, the blending laboratory where 40 different whiskeys become one, and the process will absolutely shock you. Picture this scene that most people will never witness. The blending hall, a sterile laboratory meets industrial kitchen. Massive steel vats, each holding 50,000 liters, are connected by a network of pipes and pumps controlled by computer systems. But here's the secret that will change everything. The magic happens in the small batch testing room first. You're about to discover something that will make you question every whiskey you've ever tasted. The master blender works with samples from 40-plus aged whiskeys stored in warehouses across Scotland. Using precise measuring equipment, they create test blends in 500 milliliter bottles, adjusting ratios until achieving the perfect balance. Once approved, these ratios are scaled up to industrial proportions. This next revelation will shock whiskey purists everywhere. Here's the controversial truth whiskey snobs don't want you to know. Blended whiskey requires more precision than single malts. They're balancing Highland honey sweetness against Islay smoke, Speyside fruit against lowland grass, all while maintaining consistency across millions of bottles. But wait, it gets even more incredible. The actual blending uses computer-controlled pumps that measure whiskey to the nearest liter. Grain whiskey forms the base, usually 60 to 70% of the blend. Then single malts are added in precise order. Light lowland whiskeys first, building complexity with Speyside malts, adding Highland character, finishing with smoky Islay whiskeys. You think you've seen everything? The final step will absolutely blow your mind. The complexity we've just explored explains why this process takes 6 weeks from grain to bottle. But there's one final step that ensures every bottle meets Johnnie Walker standards, and it's more intense than you can imagine. Prepare for this mind-blowing revelation. Quality control happens at every stage, but the final testing is remarkable. Every batch undergoes sensory analysis by trained panels who can detect flavor variations of 0.1%. Gas chromatography machines analyze chemical compounds, ensuring consistency down to individual flavor molecules. Here's what will shock you about the scale. The bottling line processes 40,000 bottles per hour. Automated systems fill each bottle to exactly 700 milliliters, apply labels with millimeter precision, and cap bottles with consistent torque. Quality cameras inspect every bottle, rejecting any with imperfections. But here's what impressed me most and will blow your mind. Even with all this automation, human tasters still sample every 100th bottle. Because machines can measure alcohol content and detect contamination, but only human palates can confirm that distinctive Johnnie Walker taste that you'll never experience the same way again. The finished bottles travel on conveyor belts to packaging areas where they're sorted by label: red, black, gold, blue, each representing different aging and blending complexity. From here, they ship to 180 countries worldwide. Every bottle represents a timeline spanning multiple production facilities, coordinated across an entire country, balanced by both cutting-edge technology and traditional craftsmanship. That's not just whiskey production. That's liquid engineering that will change how you see every bottle forever. Next time you see that square bottle, you'll know the incredible factory process hidden inside that most people will never discover. From Scottish grain silos to automated bottling lines, Johnnie Walker proves that sometimes the most sophisticated production creates the smoothest result. Speaking of complex factory processes, should I break down how Jameson's triple distillation facility actually works? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more factory secrets that'll change how you see every bottle. Cheers.